All right, so we got this thing up in the air, and we can see here on the stock 20 to the hub, we've got probably 1 1/4 inch of space to the bottom of the ball joint stud. Almost 1 3/4 if you go up to the nut. And the last couple of these kits I've ran, I have had to come in here and slice the bottom of this. It doesn't affect anything. I've put quite literally hundreds of thousands of miles on it. All the torque on the ball joint is up here, so it won't make any difference on that. So then I've got the new wheel over here, and we can see logically it's about a 1/2 inch more. These wheels are 2 inches bigger, which is only going to give you 1 inch each direction, and they've got a little different barrel design than the factory one. These are a reverse drop center, so that doesn't quite line up with the barrel though, so it's going to go to here. So what we need to make sure is that we have 2 inches from the bottom of this barrel to the bottom of this nut, because that's what is going to happen when this new hub gets swapped out. The whole hub and wheel assembly is going to go up in there 2 inches, and as it sits, it looks like we've got roughly, if I cut the threads off flush, 2. It's going to be close. It's going to be a little tighter than we'd like, but we'll get it chopped and then see what we got from there. So the actual swap here is pretty easy. It is quite literally just ball joint, tie rod, caliper bolts, swap the bearing out of this knuckle with an ABS sensor. You're talking 6, 7 bolts, and it swaps right over. Swap the rotor, put the pads and caliper on all together. So we're gonna go ahead and get that swapped out, put the new one in, and then see what kind of clearance issues we have, if we're gonna have to slice this, how much, and then go from there. All right, so we knew it would be close, and it just barely doesn't clear. I think if we come in and just cut the hexagonal part of that off, it should do just fine and give us enough clearance. This doesn't move very much. If we got a 1/4 inch, it'll be good. So we get the wheel off of there, slice that off, and see what we got from there. Ended up cutting it off just about flush with the nut there. We have plenty of clearance now, probably 5/16 of an inch. It spins without any issue, and that's pretty much what I had to do on these kits in the past. Not real surprising. No worries there. Cut it with a Sawzall so it didn't get hot and melt the plastic out of the nylock or anything, so it should be good. So we can button this side up now and then get started on the other side. All right, I was tidying up the last couple things and realized that I've missed something. This kit from Belltech says it's good for a 19 to 25. They're all the same. 26 is the same truck. Called Belltech, they said they couldn't guarantee it, but I took the risk. Well, once I cut it all together, I realized that it does not have the cutout for the ABS sensor. All of the bearings up till 26 have the ABS sensor integrated into the bearing. 26 changed and put a magnet on the back and changed it. But I ordered some 25 bearings. They interchange. They bolt in. They're exactly the same construction. Looking at the measurement, 1.83 from the back to the flange, 1.83 to the back to the flange. Everything mounts up the same. I've already plugged this wheel bearing in. The wiring is exactly the same. Even the hold downs where it plugs into the frame are the same. And I put it on the scanner and the truck reads off of that new bearing. So the alternative is go with a kit from another company that I really didn't want to do because it achieves the lowering from manipulating the spring, and I didn't want to do that. I like maintaining the factory ride quality, and just moving the wheel bearing up. It's a much better solution, I think, than moving the spring seat down several inches, taking compression off the spring. It completely changes everything. You've then got to put a control arm in because it changes your ball joint angle. Bunch of stuff we don't like. So if everything I've measured and all the tests I've ran are correct, I'm just going to swap it out for a set of 2025 bearings and then see what we got from there. But it appears as if it should work fine. All right, so now we're on to the rear. It is much simpler. Just disconnect the sway bars. It's got a replacement sway bar link because it's going to be 4 inches closer. There's a relocate for the track bar to keep it in the right place. Drops it down here because it's going to be 4 inches lower. And then just pop in some springs. There's an offset, a couple bolts and brackets for the sway bar there. And it's a much simpler install. The only thing that's going to complicate it is putting in the airbags, but that's not a big deal. Just a little bit of plumbing. Find a good spot to put the fittings so that we can air that up when we need to, and it'll be pretty cut and dried. So yeah, we'll get to letting the axle down here, get the old stuff out, and then work on rebuilding it. All right, so the back's all apart. All the springs are out. Got the new sway bar links up in. They gotta be sized once you get them in. The kit tells you to take out the factory bump stops, slice this cup off, and then put in their new bump stops. I'm trying to not do anything that is unreversible, so I'm not gonna go chopping into the frame on a brand new truck. I've had this similar kit in like 4 or 5 other trucks. It's never caused me an issue. I don't ever bottom out. So I'm gonna skip that step. I'm not ripping out the factory stops and chopping the frame and giving potential rust issues and all of that. So we'll get the airbags dropped in the new shock. The hoses just feed up through here to wherever we choose to put them. And then we'll have to find a spot for the fill ports and stuff. But we can just get them roughed in for now and then get the springs and everything back in. And we'll work on getting this track bar relocate and then pretty much reassembly from there. It's pretty straightforward. So I've got the airbags here prepped and ready to go. That is literally the extent of the installation. Got the bag, little connection. This little spacer keeps pressure off the bag up at the top, and that's it. You run it through the hole up in there. I've decided I'm gonna come right in here where you won't really ever see it, but I can reach up under to air it up and put it in. They give you a couple options. You can either go with 2 fittings or 1. I don't like the T fitting. I used that the first time I put them in, and what it does is it lets pressure push from one side to the other. So if you get a lot of weight on this side, it'll squish this bag and make the pressure equalize side to side, and I don't care for that. I like to be able to pump them both up, have this one stay at its pressure, this one stay at its pressure, and the load in the bed does not change how much assistance each side gives it. So we'll get those sat in the springs, get the springs sat in, and then push the axle back up into place. We can reconnect the shocks, and then that'll hold everything in place while we get the track bar and the sway bar all resituated. that's pretty much everything wrapped up. The bags have a little bit of pressure in them. They're in place. The stock sway bar links ended up being a better fit. They gave me shorter ones, which made sense with it being shortened, or lowered rather, but they said to get the sway bar as close as parallel to the ground as you could, and it's perfectly parallel with these links. So with 4-inch shorter links, it was like a 45-degree angle, and that's what their own instructions say not to do. So got everything relocated, springs in, got the little valves for the airbags up here, pretty well concealed, covered up, but I can give them a little extra if I need to haul anything. I was going to try and preview it with the old wheels, but with the spindle drop, it will not clear 20s anymore. So we're going to get the hellcat wheels mounted up and see how it sits here.